Hello friends, my name is Holly and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be sharing with y'all a little before and after of our landscape around our new home. We've had it a little less than 2 years now and out in our cottage garden. So this is all coming back to life. And this is right off the side of our house is our little cottage garden area. We need to get out here and really trim everything out, or trim everything back and clean everything out. So this is actually Good Friday that I filmed these clips of this video. So we're going to be just kind of sharing with y'all before what everything looks like. It looks dead and awful, but once we start trimming everything back, y'all are going to see in the next few minutes how everything has already came into bloom and already gotten a little bit bigger. And then I'm planning on doing like a little part 2 with y'all later on whenever everything comes into bloom. So I think that I left y'all in the last video telling y'all how bad the pollen was and all. Well, guess what? I got sick. My allergies got the best of me. And actually Saturday that we get out here and are filming this video, towards the end of this video, I was really sick and had to come in because I started running a fever. So I don't really know what was going on with me, but I am getting much better. But right now I'm just very congested. So I apologize for that. But hopefully that y'all can work through this video with me and enjoy seeing everything that we're going to be doing out in our garden. This little fountain, we're going to actually move it somewhere else. I have big plans for it. And lots of dead things that we need to cut back. It looks so bad out here, but man, I cannot wait for y'all to see just the transformation at the end of this video, how things are already coming along just in a very short amount of time. Like I said, I just wanted to walk y'all around the garden, so keep in mind how it all looked before we get started so you can remember what it looked like before whenever we see the transformation. We need to clean out these garden beds, these little raised beds that we have. They're full of weeds, so we need to get those cleared out and ready for some vegetables. And then over here on the other side is a hot mess as well. Man, it looks like this all winter long. We never come outside over here on this side of the yard in the winter time. So whenever I come out here and start getting ready to do stuff, I'm really wowed at how dead everything is. But we do have little Bubby's plant peeking through, which I will tell y'all in a bit. And then we have some roses already in bloom. So it is nice getting out here and seeing spring is already taken form out here. And also lots of ant beds and bird poop. But this is some of our herbs. I was about to say herbs. Some of our herbs that came back from last year. And then my eucalyptus tree is doing beautifully. And then this is also a little area as a cottage garden. And we're going to be changing some things up over here too, a few plants. I do want to let y'all know that if you're new to my channel, I am not an expert on gardening. I did work at Petals from the Past, which is a little plant nursery that's local to me, and I've talked about in several of my videos for a few years, just a little part-time job, and really it was just so I could get to know plants and just know a little bit about them. And so I got a lot of my knowledge from there, and then just a little bit of research. And so I have fallen in love with different varieties of plants and antique roses, and so we're just learning together. So over here I had planted in the front of our yard in our landscape some azaleas, and 2 of them did not make it through that really cold spell that we had a couple of winters ago. And so I knew I wanted to pull them up and do something else here. And I've decided I really wanted to plant things in our landscape that were going to be evergreen and would get big and beautiful and just stay evergreen throughout the winter months, and that I could even put Christmas lights on. And so the azaleas weren't going to be that. And so I decided to pull it up and then put lots of boxwoods around. This little bird bath is going to go somewhere else. We're actually going to get these planted in the ground first. The new little boxwoods. I actually got these from Lowe's, and I love the foliage on them, but we're going to get these put into the ground. I cannot wait to see how they grow. I'm just so excited to see how our landscape and our garden just flourishes and just gets bigger and bigger throughout the years, and then keep adding to it. So we're going to take this bird bath and move it to the cottage garden, and then we're going to take that fountain and move it to our landscape area. And eventually I would like to get a bigger fountain for this little nook in our home. But for right now, this little swap will do, and it makes a big difference. And it's just so nice to sit on the front porch rocking on our new little rocking chairs and hear the fountain, the running water. Is just so therapeutic, and it's just, oh, I just love it. Kason loves it too. Kason will take a nap real quick out there on that front porch with that water running. So we're going to move this out here and do a little switcheroo. I also mentioned that I wanted everything around our house to be evergreen, and these roses are not evergreen. They definitely die off, and they're just the ugly sticks during the winter months. But for the most part, everything in our landscape is evergreen. So we have that pretty nice backdrop and just some liveliness for around the winter months where they're just dreary and we just need some color in our lives.
Lost and hopeless, when I was at my worst, it's grace that you extended that I did not deserve. I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Second birth, I'm overwhelmed and grateful. You took what I deserve. I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love. And I am so amazed by all you have done. I cannot explain the depth of your love. Limits can't contain the heart of you, God. I'm amazed at the depth of your love.
Kason took a nap because he didn't feel like helping. He said this is great time for nap time. We have 2 purple Cherokee, these are our favorite ones, in this bed. And then we also have a sweet banana pepper, and then I've got to go somewhere else to get a cowhorn pepper because that's Drew's favorite. So we're just going to try to downsize our beds to see if our tomatoes do better. I mean, they do good every year. We get enough for us, but we want to see if we can make them bigger. And then over here we have 2 beef steak. And then we have a pepper hot banana, and then we have a cayenne pepper, which Drew likes to use these to make pepper sauce for collard greens. And then over here in this bed we have a strawberry that came back from last year, and then we have a jalapeno, and then right here we have like the little sun gold cherry tomatoes, and then I'm probably going to put something else in here too, but this is all that we have for today. And then this bed we haven't cleaned out yet. We honestly need to add more dirt to these. They're usually full, but by the time we pull the weeds out and everything, it's like the dirt just settles. But then this one we got to clean out, and I wanted to do wildflowers. My plan was to do wildflowers in these front 2 beds, but we decided to space out the tomatoes and peppers to see if they do better this year. And then I wanted to put the wildflowers in this one and put all this back there, but that one had ants in it, so Drew boiled hot water and he's trying to let the ants go away before he cleans out that bed. And we don't have the wildflower seeds right now, so we're just going to do wildflowers in this one that I can pick and hopefully take inside. But this is what we're doing today on Good Friday. This is what we use. You can put it on tomato and vegetables, and we use this to go around all of our peppers and our tomatoes as we're planting them. Drew's actually going to plant them. Usually I like to help, but if Kason starts crying, I don't want to get dirt all over his cute little outfit. So we're just gonna, not chaperone, what's the word? Supervise. We're gonna supervise him.
Hallelujah. Love is made a way.
So over here, I've got these petunias and I have a vision for them, and I'm hoping that it turns out like I am picturing them. I actually saw this a few years ago and fell in love with it and knew I wanted this in my garden. So we're gonna just put these in here and do like a little half moon, kind of half circle with them. And then as we were working in the garden, I had to share with y'all what we found. We didn't mess with them because we wanted the mama to come back, but look at these beautiful little blue eggs that was in some of our landscape. And now we're going to be heading off to Petals from the Past. So this is, like I told y'all, a plant nursery, and this weekend is actually Antiques in the Garden. I've shared with y'all that several years. I love going to Antiques in the Garden. It's one of my favorite events ever, and I wanted to share with y'all their little gift shop. So you can shop their gift shop anytime, not just for Antiques in the Garden, but like I said, I just wanted to share it with y'all because they always have it decorated so beautiful and the cutest little things to decorate your homes and porches with. And so Antiques in the Garden is actually an event that Petals from the Past has hosted, I don't know for how many years now, and it is just like little antique vendors and homemade vendors set up in the gardens, so you can hang out in the gardens and shop, and it is just so magical. I love it here. Everything was in bloom. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and again, I've came to this, I don't even know how many years in a row. I just love it. And so it's usually on a Friday and a Saturday, usually on the third weekend in April, and they always have it posted on their website so you can check it out. We usually do like a little YouTube meet and greet. They did one on Saturday. I did not participate in that this year because I have Kaysen, but there's lots of YouTubers from around Alabama that come and meet up and hang out and get to meet and just mingle with everybody and shop around in the gardens. It's just a really good time. But I wanted to share with y'all just some of the little booths that they have. They have so many, so I just shared a few of my favorites. And then I also got to see one of my subscribers, one of my friends that I got to meet that actually came out last year. And then this is the old so-and-so's booth. She has a YouTube channel as well. And you can see there's like just little tents with little vendors throughout the whole garden. And then there's also a barn, and it's filled with little vendors. Teachers from high school, she is always there and makes like chicken salad and fresh lemonades, just yummy little treats so you can eat there as you're having fun hanging out in the garden. Fast forward to present time. I hope that wind isn't too bad, but I left y'all on the last video and told y'all I was coming out here on Saturday morning to help Drew with the yard work. So we have lots of bag mulch, black mulch, 50 bags to be exact. And then we have planted some of these petunias. We'll talk about that later. Showing you this right now. Let me show you. So we've got to get rid of all of those weeds. So here's what I got at Petals. I got 3 of these Confederate jasmines, which I'll show you where I'm gonna put those later. I got a camellia. And then I got lots of smaller plants, a lot of herbs and just some perennials. So I'll show you everything that I got once we get it out. Some Spanish lavender. And then I needed another one of these. Let's go ahead and for the landscape, because this one is the only one that didn't come back. So here it is. So this is stepping off of our front porch. We have these like little stepping stones going to our cottage garden. And these I planted last year and they came back, so they're bigger and lusher than last year. But they have these beautiful little white blooms, and they bloom spring, summer, and fall. But this one right here didn't come back, so I was gonna put this one here. And this is what it is. They're so pretty. So I wanted to get stuff in the landscape planted before Drew did the black mulch. That way there's not dirt where I dug up to replant in our fresh new mulch. So that's kind of rounded out, and then it kind of squares off, and we don't like how that looks. So we wanted to take this little landscape edging and see right there at that corner, we wanted to come all the way back down and go all the way around that way is our plans. But like I said, I don't know if that'll be in today's video or not. For now, we're going to be planting all these plants and putting this mulch down. So this is the change up that we're doing to the cottage garden. This is off of our house and off to the side of our house. And I have these Confederate jasmines that I did have growing on this side of the little lattice fence. But the sun comes up over this way and it sets on the side of the house. And so I feel like it's getting too shaded right here. And in the winter, it's completely killing the Confederate jasmine. So my new plan is to swap it. So I want to put the Confederate jasmine on this side this time, and I got 3 this time instead of 2. And this should fill this whole wall. It did really good the first year that I did this, and then we had a really cold winter, and I didn't think to cover them. We had like a really cold couple of days, and it completely killed them. So I'm thinking this side will be better, so it'll get full sun all the time because they like sun. And then these are geraniums, and they're not doing well over here, but I think it's because they don't like too much sun. So I'm going to replant some of the geraniums on this side and then the Confederate over here. So we're going to swap these 2 and see if this is a better choice for this cottage garden. We got to get rid of the ant beds, and then I also got these little thrift emerald blue, and they're perennials. I was trying to get a lot of perennials so they would come back every year, so I don't have to like keep buying stuff for the cottage garden, but we're still like working and practicing and seeing what's working out here and thriving and what's not. And we've got a lot of it down pat, but some things we're still working on. So I got 5 of these to border the Confederate jasmines. And then we're going to put new mulch down, get all the weeds out. And then over here, like I said, we're going to have the geraniums here. So we'll see all that hopefully by the end of this video. And then in here, just a bunch of weeds in the bird bath y'all saw where we moved that. But I got dianthus, I got white, and then I got 1 white and then 2 of this color. And these do very well here. I've had these in pots and they come back every year. So I'm thinking that if I put them in this bird bath, and they're evergreen, that they will just look pretty in here through all the seasons, and then they'll just get bigger and bigger and kind of spill over this. So I think that's gonna be really pretty in the bird bath. I had to clean up this stuff. And then this is stevia coming back. That gets really big. I want to move that out of the way. That's some kind of mint's in there. So stevia will get big. That's mint. This is Roman chamomile, and it gets bigger. We have a rose, an antique rose growing right here. This is Penelope. Oh, she's already got a bloom on her. 1 little bloom. And then here is lemon balm. So I need to weed this. And then this to go right here. I put a California poppy here last year and it didn't come back, and I thought that it would, but it did not, or I haven't seen it yet. But I thought that we would do this true hyssop and see how it does. So this is another herb that you can put in like teas and things like that. So this is kind of like my little tea garden over here. Then the other side is more of like the culinary garden, or like where the cooking, like the basil and things. I have this lavender I need to clean up, and I got another one just like it to go beside it, so it will fill in this area. I will just want everything to be filled in and lush during the spring, summer months, and help with weed control, and it'll just be so pretty full of herbs and plants. And then right here, they're already blooming. This came back from last year. This is a clematis, and I got it in white, so it should continue to get bigger, crawl up this. The only thing that I don't have, again, we got to get rid of the ant beds. The only thing that I don't have is plants for this side of the fence. So I don't think that we're going to do that this year. We're trying to establish the inside, and then we'll figure out what to put back here. I did sunflowers in the fall, so we'll probably do that again. Probably just leave this bare. Or I do have a lot of these garden seeds I'm going to share with y'all, like picked garden seeds, and they're all white, so we might do that. And then this is a vanilla strawberry hydrangea that's coming back. So that's that side of the cottage garden. We're going to talk about these boxes later. So let's come up here to this side. The ant beds, just ignore them. They're going today. So over here I have this Spanish lavender in a pot, and it's coming back, but I really want to plant it in the ground. And I got 2 more. They put out these beautiful blooms. The butterflies and bees love them. Comes back every year, and some of it will stay evergreen. Not as pretty as it is in the spring and summer though. So I want to put that right here to fill in this space. So all this will be Spanish lavender on this little corner right here. And then right here we have a huge, it's doing really well, eucalyptus tree that I planted last year. And all the bird poop, that's just not going away because that will come right back. So imagine you don't see all the bird poop. We're going to get rid of these pots. then we're just going to do all plants. So the Spanish lavender will be right here. And I got lots of herbs. Some are coming back, some do not. So we got some dill, sage, and then I also have these that I got at Target a few years ago. That kind of tell what they are. So last year I had pineapple sage. I thought it would come back, but it didn't. So this year we're going to try this type of sage. Kind of looks like a lamb's ear. This has done very well. This is like a winter, what is this called? Oh, winter savory, I believe. But it comes back every year. You can see it's already starting to come back. And we got basil, thyme, rosemary, parsley, and oregano. So this is like all the herbs. And then again, here's the eucalyptus. I wanted to shape it where it would stay like a bush. So I'm trying to decide, because I hate to, I want to use this for like cutting and putting in some of my arrangement. So I'm like, do I want to trim this and keep it like a bush? Because it's already doing so well. It's getting so big. So I'm trying to figure out, it would look better if I kept it as a bush because it would cover all that back of the fence. Right here we have Prosperity rose. All my roses are antique roses from Petals from the Past. You can actually order from them. So if you see a rose that you like, you can call them and get one ordered to you. I've had this dianthus for years now, and it went from pots, and then I put it in the ground. It's doing really well. That's why I think it'll do good in the bird bath. So I have them right here, and then I do have these pots in here, and that's chives that come back every year. They're so pretty. These are actually the flowers that I did from seeds from my baby shower. I gave out as thank yous little seed packets, and these are actually Bubby's seeds. They actually bloomed like the same week that Bubby was born, so it was so cool. And I didn't know they were going to come back, but they did. So more will probably come back because they were blue back in August, so I'm sure that these will die off and then more will come back. And then this, I'm going to try this sweet alyssum, a sweet alyssum in here. And this just smells amazing. It gets so big and it trails, so I thought that would be pretty in that pot, even though it's not like an herb, but that's not either. I just thought some flowers would be pretty. And then over here, this will get really big. We've got to pull that out. That's a weed. But this is 2 varieties of butterfly bushes. One's white, one's purple. This one's the purple one. I had the white one here, and then my sweet neighbor friend gave me, she knows that I love gardening, and so she gave me a clipping of her butterfly bush, and it's purple. So I just put them together, and whenever it grows, it like completely takes up this whole area, and it's so pretty. We're gonna do like an updated cottage garden tour once everything gets big and lush and into bloom. So you're just kind of seeing the before right now. This is some kind of an invasive tree that we've got to pull up. And then we put my pumpkins here last year after my fall decor, and they're already blooming. So I just like to put them over here because I was able to use some of these pumpkins last year for my fall decoration. So I just threw them over here, clean up the weeds, put down more mulch, and then I don't have nothing to put there yet either, but we're not worried about, like I said, the back side of the fence. Okay, right here we have a Peggy Martin rose and a lavender lassie, and we're going to clean up the rock, lay them back down better, and then I put some mulch around them. It's just trailing this arch that I have going into the cottage garden. And then we have raised beds, which we have vegetables in, which I think we'll talk about those another day whenever they're in full bloom, because this is getting very long. But we have just like vegetables. We just have like peppers and tomatoes in these. Gotta plant those, and then peppers and tomatoes. And then this I'm gonna clean out today, and we're gonna plant these seeds, and they're all white. I actually heard my friend Kaylin Cash talking about this on her channel, but they are from Eden Brothers, and these are all white flowers like that you can cut and bring in for arrangements. So we're gonna have tons of these in here, and it's just gonna be a mixture of them. And then we have a crepe myrtle right there that will get real big and bloom pink. That's a clipping from my in-laws crepe myrtle. And then over here we've got to get it cleaned up. It looks awful, but need to pressure wash and things over here. I have a little umbrella that honestly I need to change out because it's looking bad. I've had that for a few years now. And then all the way around the perimeter of our little fire pit area, these used to be behind our double wide, if you were here for those days. So this was like our patio area behind our double wide, and then we just moved it out here in the cottage garden.
But we have the famous Farmer's Dream Rose on each side. A lot of y'all have bought these from Petals from the Past. I had cut it way back, so next year it should put off big blooms and trail, but I just needed it to be cut way back and kind of contain it. It kind of like start fresh. These are weeds we got to get rid of. And then over here is Henry Dulberg salvia. And it always does very well on this side, but it doesn't do very well on that side because it's full sun over here and kind of shaded over there. So we're going to pull these up and put them in somewhere else full sun. And then I asked Jason at Petals about what to do that likes sun or shade, because I wanted it to be like symmetrical on each side. And so I got 2 of these that'll come back every year. This is what they're called. And I got 2 of these, and this is, or 4 of these. This is what they look like. They look white, but they have like a little bit of a purple blue tint to them. They're really pretty. So those will get real big and lush back here. So we're gonna put those behind the limbs here. So we're gonna put 2 here, 2 on that other side. And then we have an elderberry right here. We have 2 pear trees. On this back side, we have, gosh, it looks so messy. But on this back side, we have 2 hydrangeas. Limelight hydrangeas. I'm going to get rid of all those pots because we don't need those anymore. So those will be moved out of here. So these get real big. I actually need to get one more for the middle, so it'll just like fill this back wall with hydrangeas. Another elderberry. Another pear tree. I have not had like hardly any luck with things in this pot. And you know what? Because I don't come out here and water all the time in the summer, whenever it starts getting too hot, so I need things to like just grow and establish on its own without me having to come out here and water every day. And things like geraniums and things like that, they needed to be heavily watered. But those dianthus do really good, so I might need to put dianthus in here. I might do that. I might try that, and then next year, if that doesn't work, I might just get rid of these pots also. But this is the same thing. So I was going to get more lambs here, but they are so easy to just like cut a clipping off of this, like some of the roots. So I'm going to just do that with those 2 because those 3 are doing very well. So I'm going to pull some of those and plant them right here. So I'll have like on the other side 3 right here, and then some more of those like pretty purpley white daisy flowers. I can't remember what they're called. I'm going to put those right there.
So I'm not sure if I told y'all or not, but we jumped forward to the 3rd week in April. And this is whenever we're doing like the mulch and the extra planting. Good Friday, we just deadheaded everything and cleaned up everything. And now we're doing the planting and putting the mulch out. Man, this mulch makes a big difference. So this is a Saturday morning. And this is whenever my sickness began. Actually, it began Friday afternoon. I started with a sore throat. It just went downhill from then. But this is that Saturday.
Over here, the only thing that we're doing different is this geranium is not doing well over here. So we're going to pull it up, put it over there in the cottage garden, and then put this camellia tree right here. And it'll get big and pretty, and it'll bloom white blooms in the fall. So we're going to change that out, get rid of all these weeds, and put down some black mulch.
Drew decided he did want to do this project today, so he took off this little landscape trimming that we got from Home Depot and straightened out our borders and made it a little bit wider, and it looks so much better. You'll be able to see it at the end. I had to end up giving it up about 2:30 on Saturday. I ended up getting a fever and my body was aching out in the garden, and I was like, okay, I think I'm really sick. I need to go in and just stop. So we took the rest of the weekend off, and now this is Tuesday, and we're coming out here because it's such a pretty day, and we're going to be planting those seeds for the cut garden, and we're going to plant those into this little raised bed. So Drew put some black cow in here over the weekend, and I'm just going to spread it all out. Again, these beds could really use some more dirt. I need to figure out some way to get some dirt hauled into these beds because they are just lacking. And I got these from Eden Brothers, and actually I was influenced by my friend Kaylin Cash. If you follow her, she's doing like a little garden too, and so she said this is where she got her seeds. So this is just a mixture of all kinds of little white like wildflowers to be able to plant in this box and then cut and bring in for floral arrangement. So I'm so excited to see this bed just be full of different flowers. All I'm doing is just sprinkling lots of these because I want it to be totally full of these little seedlings into our black cow, and then I'm just going to like rake over them. I did this with zinnias a few years ago, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So I figure it's going to work again this year. And then I had a lot of them left, so I just thought, hey, on this side of the fence, this side actually faces the road, I was like, why not just put the rest of them in here and see what they do? So I just raked some of this brown mulch back, and I'm just going to go in and sprinkle the rest of the seeds and water it in real good, and I cannot wait to see how this looks. We usually put sunflowers right here, and they do really well, so I think this is going to be gorgeous. Start with what we did new over here this year. So I actually saw this at a wedding venue and loved it. Before we even built the house, I knew that I wanted to replicate that. So we got these petunias in the ground, and I'm hoping by in the next couple of weeks that they're just all filled in. So these are actually salvias, and they will come back every year, just like the salvias, my Henry Gilbert salvias that I had out in the cottage garden, but these bloom white. Oh, there's a beautiful fly. Why couldn't that have been a butterfly? It should get really big and full and thick, and again come back every year, which will be so nice. These will not come back every year. I'll have to replant these every year if I decide to keep this up, which I'm pretty sure that I'm going to. I'm so excited to see how this is going to turn out. And then back here we have some antique roses. I'll try to put the name of them right here. I'm going to share with you all the pretties, but we're still a work in progress. I'm hoping to do like another cottage and landscape update. But again, I want to get a bigger fountain. I think it'll be beautiful back here. And then we have the little camellia back here. I need to get a black extension cord to hide. And then we need to do something with those weeds. And then we need to put more mulch. We ran out of mulch. I think we had like 60 bags, and we need a few more. So I need a mulch back here. This is all dead from last year, so this needs a good thing of mulch. So we're gonna refresh that next week. What I actually saw at the wedding venue, so they had in their corners some petunias like this. So I'm hoping that they fill in the corners, all big and lush. It'll be so pretty, especially whenever those continue to get bigger throughout the years. I want to continue to do this. I cannot wait to show y'all what this is hopefully going to look like in the next few weeks or month. Remember in our last video on the front porch decorate with me, like little makeover, I told y'all that we were waiting on my 3-tiered topiaries. Well, I actually found them, and they're supposed to be shipping, so hopefully they'll arrive and we can get those in and we can see that soon. I'm going to put those in next week, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can see them. I don't know when they'll make it to YouTube. And then coming off the porch, we need to add one more stepping stone because Drew decided to go ahead and extend it. And so we have another stepping stone down at the barn, so we need to bring that up here. And then I want to get a couple of more of these little flowers to go on each side of it. So we need to do that, and then Drew's going to add some more mulch over here, but it's going to be so pretty. Love how this black mulch looks up against our white house and the brick. Right here and around the crepe myrtle, we have 3 hydrangeas, or 6, I'll go down there and show you, and they bloom white. Really big white crepe myrtle that we actually had planted whenever we had the double wide, and it got to stay, and it fit perfectly where we were building the house. Like, how perfect is that? So we've been so excited about that. So that'll put off pretty white blooms. And then over here we have, again, the same, I think these are called Blushing Bride. They will have a little light pink to them, but for the most part they are white. And then we have a hosta, and it puts off a little white foliage. A hydrangea, another hosta, another hydrangea, and then over here this side we have a beautiful another antique rose, so fragrant, and it's a repeat. I told Jason I wanted a big white rose that I could clip and use in my arrangement, and you can see like it's on its own little stem, so I'm excited for this to continue to get bigger throughout the years. And on this side we have just 3 of the boxwoods. I'm loving the boxwoods. I love that they're going to be evergreen, and I'm picturing Christmas lights on them later. And then Drew's got to go back and straighten up this border. Wondering what that sound is. Pops comes and gets Kason every afternoon and rides him on the Ranger to go see the cows. On the back side of the house, we have this little area. So this is a limelight hydrangea that my mother-in-law gifted us for Easter. So I put it over here beside our propane tank to kind of disguise it once it grows up a little bit. I like to put 1 or 2 right here, but there's a water line right here, so we can't. So we dressed this back area up the best that we could. And then this is a little camellia right here. And then going on around the side of the house, we have a rose, another antique rose, and this one is called Quietness. And it's already got some blooms on it. We have boxwoods on this side of the house to stay evergreen. Remember, this is basically still a starter garden again, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to bring y'all back in a month or 2 and share with y'all how everything has grown and flourished. But this is kind of like entering into the cottage garden. And so I did the Confederate jasmine to trail, and then we have to mulch everything. There's only 1 part or 2 parts in here that got mulched, so it looks so much better with mulch. You'll see whenever I take y'all around. These will bloom little blue flowers and they trail. And then this is that vanilla strawberry hydrangea I was telling you all about. And then this is where I put all of those seeds for the cut garden. And I am not a professional, so y'all let me know. This is a Peggy Martin rose, and she's doing beautifully up top, but at the bottom she has like no foliage. So let me know what the problem with that is so I can fix that. If you have any ideas in the comments down below. But as you can tell up here, she's just gorgeous. She will definitely be beautiful in the next couple of days. She has lots of buds. And then also, she has little spots on her, but she always does very good every year. And I did fertilize her, so she looks healthy though. She looks like she's definitely going to be putting on a show. On the other side, I did another pink rose, and I did the lavender lassie. In my cottage garden, I wanted to do lots of color, and around the house, just keep it very green, white, just neutral. And then there is little touches of pink, just very subtle touches of pink. But I have her, and she has lots of blooms too. Again, all of my roses are antique roses. They all have very beautiful stories with them, and they come from Petals from the Past. So I'll link Petals from the Past down below, and anything you're interested in, they'll actually ship it to you. Wrong kind of fly. I'm aware that this looks pitiful, but I wanted to share it with y'all for the video, and then I'm going to cut it back. But this stuff will definitely come back. Just anytime that you transplant something, it's going to die off, so you need to cut it back, in my experience, and then it will definitely come back. But I wanted y'all to be able to see and remember what this was. So this was the Henry Dolberg that came from around the fire pit area. So I need to cut it back, and I put all 4 of them around here. So this should definitely be full, because it's full sun right here. It should be full of this beautiful salvia that'll be really pretty for like little cut flowers. Just looks bad right now because I transplanted it. Here I went ahead and put the 3 gardenias. They should not be this close together, but I didn't know which ones were going to survive and do the best, so I just put them in the ground just to kind of see what they did, and then we'll play with them later. But man, it would be nice if before summertime really got here, this would be all green. Mulch, I'm going to say that like a million times, because I want y'all to remember mulch is going to go down and make such a dramatic difference. And then in our bird bath, I put those dianthus, and then we also need to get some more dirt to put in here with these. I just ran out of dirt, so whenever I get some more of the soil, we're going to put that in here, and then this should fill in this bird bath. This should fill in pretty fast. And then again, over here, we did the 3 gardenias to see what they did. We have my little garden shed area right here. On this side of the fence line, I told y'all this is like my little tea garden. So we have some stevia that's coming back from last year. Mint, I believe that's Kentucky mint. Speaking of Kentucky, we're headed to Kentucky for a wedding. We'll actually be probably home by now by the time you're watching this video. But this past weekend, we'll have been in Kentucky. And so Drew's family's from Kentucky, so I got the Kentucky mint, and we actually really love it. I love using this in my summer drinks. Keep the mint in containers because they are invasive, and if I put them in the ground, they will take over my garden, so I keep them in a pot. And then this is Penelope. She has a touch of pink to her. That one's She's lost her pink. It kind of like ombres, but she has some blooms on her as well. And this one again from Petals, an antique rose. She's on this fence line and she's just getting started. And all of my roses are fragrant because I just don't see myself buying a rose unless it has a lot of fragrance to it. Girls, I lied to y'all. I walked over to that pot and this is actually lemon balm. So this is my lemon balm, but again, it's invasive, so I put it in this pot. This is Roman chamomile. Good for sleeping, making little teas with it. Haven't done that yet. Need to find recipes. I've just been working on getting everything put in this soil and getting it established, and once that hard work is over, then maybe we can figure out the recipes for all of this. And then let's walk over here. So this is the Kentucky mint. So we have Kentucky mint here, and then I bought hyssop this year. So we'll see how that does. Oh, and this one's supposed to put off a really pretty purple flower. Over here, this little rabbit my niece and nephew gave to me for my 30th birthday party. So we definitely keep her in the garden. I need to name her. And then this is lavender that we had in here last year. That's coming back. You can see the new growth on it. And then beside it, I went ahead and bought another Spanish lavender. So it could really, it's not Spanish. This one's not Spanish. This is like Provenance. Spanish lavender over there. This is a different lavender. I have two different lavenders. I would actually like to get lots of different lavenders. Petals carries a lot of different ones, and I need to collect them all. But because I love lavender. But this is the same as this one. So she's new. This clematis came back from last year. She's already putting off lots of blooms. And she's climbing up this little trellis I have out here. This side of the garden, I don't really love how this hammock looks out here, but I love sitting in it. Me and Kason will just swing in it in the afternoons. It gets shaded over here, and over there it's still sunny and so hot. So I like to keep this over here in the shade. I just wish that it wasn't such an eyesore, but it's very comfortable, so we're keeping it. But it's shaded by the crepe myrtle. So over here on this side, this is like our little culinary garden, if you will. So this is the Spanish lavender, and you can see we already put some mulch on this side, so it looks much better on this side of the fence, but we have to get more brown mulch. So down here we have Spanish lavender, Spanish lavender, Spanish lavender, and it's coming back. And then I'm hoping that it fills in this whole area right here. Be so beautiful. And then over here we have all the herbs. So I planted those in, I told y'all. So we have dill, sage, winter savory. We have basil, thyme, rosemary, parsley, and oregano. And behind it we have the prosperity rose, antique rose from Petals, and she bloomed white. And all of these are like repeat roses. So she's what's going to be trailing this fence line. And the herbs is the beautiful eucalyptus tree that I wanted it to be a bush, but here we are. Can't make myself cut it. So it's kind of odd out here in the garden. I was trying to make everything like symmetrical and pretty, but it is what it is. It's just so pretty I can't make myself cut it, and it's just going to get really big right here. It's going to be nice. The difference having the mulch makes. It just makes everything look so much more clean and crisp. But here's my dianthus again. Kind of just a repeat. What I shared with y'all earlier, the chives. I've got to water this today and it should perk back up, but oh my goodness, it smells so good. I love having things out in the garden that smell good. And then I'm excited to see how this continues to pop up new flowers from Bubby's little seed pack. And then that's the butterfly bush that will fill in this whole area. And then those are blueberry bushes back there. I kept saying I was going to take those and bring them in the cottage garden. We have yet to do that. We really need to do that one day. The raised beds, they are just in the middle of our garden. And over this way, we didn't get to finish cleaning it up, but I was going to show y'all how I planted everything. So we'll walk over there. Again, mulch and get rid of these ant beds. And you see where I took like a little cutting of the lamb's ear for over there. We've got those cute little guys planted in the ground. And then I forgot that I had this little like stake out here to put like a little bird feeder, so we may do that. And then I need to figure out if I'm going to put something in those or not. Come out here and clean off this little patio area. This I had mint in last year, so I'm not sure if it's going to come back or not. I know I had strawberry mint So I'll just put it on the table and we'll see what happens. Same thing on this side. Each side has a farmer's dream rose that will trail and climb this arbor. And they have really big pink blooms. I don't see any that's bloomed out yet. And then here are the lambs there that I replanted that one and this one. So we've got to get out here and water these today. But they will get big and fill in this area. They always do every year. They look puny the beginning of spring, and then by summer they're huge. And then some more of those beautiful light little daisy flowers. And then I forgot to tell you, I have an elderberry on each side of the fire pit. Friends, that is all for today's video. I hope that y'all enjoyed this very detailed video of our little cottage garden and landscaping. I cannot wait to bring y'all back along to see it once everything comes into full bloom. Hope that y'all will hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys on the very next one. God bless, and I'll see you soon.